Hi, I'm Matt, and welcome to Tech Tested. This video is going to be so much fun for me. Maybe not as much fun for you, but that's for you to decide. Today, we're going to be upgrading my long overdue personal computer. So a brief history on my personal computer, you may recognize it from our very first video where we put 8 graphics cards into one computer. I liked a lot of the components that I used in that, so I decided to keep them in my personal computer. You'll notice that I'm using a GTX 295 as my graphics card. That's not by choice. I had a Radeon HD 7970 that was doing just fine for me, but it crapped out. And since about February, I've been running on this GTX 295. That's when I decided I really need to start looking into upgrading. And that brings us to our new components. I wanted a much quieter experience. Right now I'm running a hodgepodge of miscellaneous fans in my computer, so I decided to go with 6 PureWing 2 Be Quiet fans for 2 reasons. 1, their acoustical performance, and 2, I got them for less than $8 a piece on Newegg, so thumbs up for saving money. When it comes to my graphics card, I opted to get the AMD R9 390. Now a lot of you are probably thinking, oh, why didn't you get the GTX 970, or maybe you're thinking, why didn't you go all the way and go for the GTX 980 Ti? And to be completely honest, it came down to price to performance. I game at 1080p right now. And so the R9 390 pulls a little bit ahead of the GTX 970. And I love the aesthetics of the Sapphire card, and I'm a little bit of a sucker for Team Red. So yeah. And to top it all off, we have our NZXT fan controller here, so we can adjust our fan speeds for optimal acoustical performance. So let's get started. We've got our one side panel off already, but we're going to want to pull the rest of the panels off so we can get easy access to all the components. So I'm going to start by pulling off the top, which is actually really easy. It's just this nice little magnetic filter. It's actually a beautiful design. I love this case, by the way. I wouldn't trade it for any. I went through several cases before I got to this one, and it is fantastic. Pulling off the backside panel so we can adjust cable management as necessary. If you guys want to see my cable management, we'll turn the computer around here for you. It's not all that pretty. It's actually really disgustingly dusty back here. My house is very dusty, very old and very dusty. So now I'm going to pull the front panel off, because we're going to need to clean out that area too and replace some of the fans. Before I start cleaning, I actually have decided that I'm going to pull out the old fans that aren't necessary anymore. So that's what we're going to start. We're putting the old baby to rest. Live long and prosper. No, just die. That is my H80i cooler full of dust. All right, next step, we are going to be installing our Be Quiet fans.
Matt's coffee had so much dust in it before he just drank it just now.
Fiber. All right, you may have noticed I mounted one of my fans on the outside of my case. The reason for that is, first of all, I kind of like the exhaust port kind of look. The other reason is, if you come over here and look on the inside of the case, my radiator will be mounted here. And when you stack 2 fans on an extra thick radiator, it protrudes really far into your case, blocking some of the more aesthetically pleasing components. So if you put one of the fans on the outside, it takes away some of that depth that you want to maintain. Next, we'll be installing our fan controller. Next, we'll be changing out my RAM. I am switching from a 16 gig kit to an 8 gig kit, which may seem a little bit like a downgrade, but I am going for a higher frequency of 2400 megahertz, and it is a black kit versus a blue kit, which will fit much better with my computer. And I don't use more than 8 gigs anyway, so. Next, we're going to be doing the centerpiece of this upgrade, the R9 390 graphics card from Sapphire. I actually opted for the model with the back plate, $20 more, but I feel since that's the part you're going to be seeing the absolute most of, well worth the money. And here it is, my final product. Overall, I am very happy with the cable management. It looks fantastic. It's very color coordinated. Ultimately, I would have liked it to be a little bit more quiet, but it's definitely a lot less noisy than it was before with 2 additional fans. So I am overall happy with the product, and that's my personal PC. Thanks for watching. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and leave a comment if there's anything you'd like us to cover in the future.